But how destroys evolution theory?
Evolution is based on four major ideas. None of them have ever been observed. Number one, that life comes from non-life. We have not one single example of life coming from non-life. Number two, that all the life forms that we have today came from single-cell life forms. Many people do not know that while we do have single-cell life forms that we call bacteria, we have no two-cell life forms. We don't have three-cell life forms. We don't have four-cell life forms. We don't even have five-cell life forms. That is, you go from single-cell bacteria to complex life forms. So there's no evidence that all life comes from single-cell life forms. The third postulate of evolution is that time and chance drive evolution forward, of course, and time works against evolution. The chance of one simple 100-unit protein coming together by accident is a very big number. Time and chance make evolution absolutely impossible. The fourth postulate that evolution is based on is that what we see today, minor genetic variation in species, is evidence of macroevolution. So because cats are different colors, dogs are different sizes, that means that fish turned into cows. And of course, we know that that's not true because Mendel proved that all the genes that exist today, you can shuffle them around, but there are no new genes.
But how this
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles, great millstone, and Southeast was doing this thing in sincerity, and truth, and with charity. And you have to be some type of fool to believe that there is no God. Okay? Simple, basic principles, like the first thing that man said, and this is saying my grandfather used to say, nothing from nothing begets nothing. Okay? For existence to be here, for us to exist, something had to always be here. Okay? 0 times anything is 0. So if there was nothing, it would always be nothing. Okay? Let's grab this. This is Jeremiah. No. Wisdom of Solomon. This is 13. Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. Surely vain are all men by nature who are ignorant of the Most High. Did I make sure I turn the mic on? Let me make sure. Yeah. Salakia. Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. Surely vain are all men by nature who are ignorant of God, and could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is. Salakia. And could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster. All right? For these things to exist, they have to be a work master. There's too much synergy, too much duality. Evil and good exist. That it's too. The contraries even prove that there's a Lord, a Lord, a creator. All right? To have hot and cold, wet and dry. All right? This is done through wisdom. Not a random events that fit so perfectly together. That's impossible. All right? For that to be nothing, all of a sudden, something exists. That's crazy. And to believe that is because you believe the devil, man. This is, I just had it in my head. Yeah, Daniel 7. Is this it? Yeah, 7:25. He shall speak great words against the Most High. This proves that America is the little horn to come. Okay? Because prior to this, even though these other nations are going off, they worship the sky, the moon, the fire. Even though that shit is going off. But they were smart enough to know that there was something to make everything. All right? That there was something that created this. All right? Not that there is no God at all. That's a new thing, and the West is pushing it. Okay? These other nations, of course, have adopted it, but that wasn't a thing, really, man. That was a very rare thing, to just believe in no God. Even the fucking Greeks and Romans, as wicked as they were, and of course, just disdained real holiness, they at least went to the gods, as they say. We watch Rome movie, the gods, this. You know, they gotta say after gods. But they was something happened. Say, "Ah, this the gods." All right. Even when you read the Maccabees, I forget which son it was of the was it the Ptolemies? I believe it was one of the sons of Antiochus. They even realized that we are the children of God. They became kind of cool with us for a moment because I think it was Epiphanes' son. I could be mistaken. I have to read through it again. But they realized that, man. Even the devils believe and tremble. But today, atheism goes heavy, man, with this false science. But this is Daniel 7:25. He should speak great words against the Most High. All right. So evolution. All right. What's the other word for it? Damn. I'm mad I can't think of the other word for it. Darwinism. Fucking silly shit, man. Nigga saw a bird. Oh, this must be... That's some dumb shit, man. If anything, you look at nature, it proves that the Lord is real. Which what the wisdom of Solomon said. All right? A very simple proof. Like the guy said, time is against evolution. Clownfish should be extinct. They're a colorful fish, which means they attract predators, but they have a defense within nature built in. That's how you know it's a wise design. The sea anemone, which paralyzes other fish, but don't paralyze the clownfish. So the clownfish, according to evolution, had to develop this immunity to the sea anemone. So that means there would have been generations down off from the sea anemone. And then they got that against them plus being hunted. They would have no defense. And, well, they got the sea anemone paralyzed them to the point where their genetics changed. Then why haven't the other fish got this immunity yet? That's hunting this fish. It's too much checks and balances in nature. That's why they tell you, oh, this species, they brought this species to this part of the world, had no natural predator to balance it out because nature has checks and balances through a wise designer. Okay? Let's see. Come on, Esau. I did not mean to do that. Ah. That's good. That's not the one I really want. I wish I remember the name of the bird because there's birds like the Kura Shirward itself hunts this way too. They have to wait for other predators in the water to send like flying fish upward, and they catch them in the sky. Okay? Wish I could find it. It's a crazy video. But it's definitely the Shearwater. Here we go. This may not be it. Damn. Anyway, but you see these different you see this different synergy in nature where these animals work together where it's needed. All right? It's just how can you how can you not see the design of this shit? Even the fact you have birds that, like we read, like you said, birds with waterproof feathers, so they can hunt in the condition they need to hunt in. Just like an owl hunts at night, but his eyes are made to see in that darkness. This is a wise creator that made these things, man. Man, I wish I could find it, but it's such a raw video. Well, yeah, but that's one of their great feasts when the whales bring the fish upward. They fly and they catch them out the sky. But you can look at anything in nature, man. The fact how everything just survives. That you need water, we have enough water. Everything's mainly water. All these different things, man. Okay. Man, I've just got different shit going through my head. Like it's a bird that takes this trip. It's not taught this. It just knows from birth when they parents fly north. Non-stop bird. Let me see. Is it Hawaii? The plover, the golden plover. All right, now this journey, taking this journey is amazing in itself. It's this non-stop journey, 3,000 miles, right? But the parents fly up there, or the mother, whatever, to lay the eggs, then get the babies right, leave. When a baby reaches a certain size, they eat just enough food to make this long flight. Because remember, food is energy. How do they know this? How do they know this is the exact amount? How do you evolve? So you would be dead by then. You wouldn't be able to make this flight and journey because you wouldn't have had the tools to know how to eat this amount. You wouldn't know. Your body wouldn't have this mechanism. It's just put it in from the beginning. Okay? No rest stops. While biologists have studied the migration, the exact mechanisms by which they navigate remain somewhat of a mystery. They go from, what does it say? Alaska to Hawaii. They're not showed this by the mother. It's not something passed down. It's just in them. This is called programming. All right? Even Esau scientists, and we're not going to keep going too long into the science of the shit. Let's get back to the scripture, Salakia. Esau scientists tell you that there's something within our DNA. They call it edite, and it's just like it sounds, it edits. Our DNA, throughout humans, whatever, DNA, it has something in it that edits. And when they have something called information science, which means everything, all knowledge comes from somewhere. That's the key basis of information science. For information to exist, it had to come from somewhere. So for us to have this thing in our DNA that edits information, that has this, that passes this down, means somebody had to put this there. Okay? We have a wise creator. Back in this Wisdom of Solomon, we're going to just let these scriptures come out. Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. Surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of God and could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is. Neither by considering the works that they acknowledge the workmaster, but deemed either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the stars or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world. With whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods, let them know how much better the Lord of them is, for the first off their beauty has created them. So the sun is a mighty light, but you have to understand, it had to be someone to put that there. Just like a fire don't just start itself, the fire in the sky didn't just start itself. Okay? But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them. For by the greatness and beauty of the creatures, proportionably the maker of them is seen. So look how everything works in nature, man, in life. Something I learned recently, I've been mentioning a lot because, you get new info, it's like a new jewel. How Esau went through the great lengths to be able to put the nitrogen back in the soil through fertilizer, which the scientists that did this and got Nobel Peace Prize ended up working with the Germans to help get this the nitrogen bomb together. He went from figuring this out to that, but it takes a massive amount of energy. It turns out when it's lightning outside, that energy brings nitrogen naturally back to the earth, which is what the soil needs. So things wouldn't work randomly like that, just in tandem. It wouldn't work that way. Well, the soil can be depleted with this, so here's something that happens naturally to bring it back. Okay? It's too much. How the flowing water, stuff comes from the sky, debris, all type of shit gets in the water, but the water is flowing and it's cleaned by the rocks. What about the garbage cans of the earth, like shrimp, lobster, scallops that clean the waters? That's their job. Or having a greater sun in the daytime and a lesser light in nighttime, called the moon. That's Genesis, the first chapter. That's needed. Yep. But yet for this they are less to be blamed. For they peradventure err, seeking the Most High, and desirous to find him. For being conversant in his works, they search him diligently, and believe their sight, because the things are beautiful that are seen. Howbeit neither are they to be pardoned, for if they were able to know so much that they could aim at the world, how did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof? A computer didn't just exist and be just raw as fuck. AI didn't just exist on its own. It's programming. Chat generative pre-trained transformer. Pre-trained. Nothing just pops up. For scientists to base a lot of their theories off observation on this, where in life has something just come out of nowhere? It doesn't happen. But well, that's really the point on that. So you got the atheists that don't believe in nothing. At least these people believed in the beauty that the Lord created. All right, you got to be an utter fool to say there is no God, man. It's a song. Damn. That app glitched out. Psalm 14:1. To the chief musician, the Psalm of David, the fool have said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. You have to be a different level of fool to not believe in the Most High. And you have to, and then, like the Wisdom of Solomon goes into its levels to it. At least the motherfucker was looking for the God, but they landed on his creation as far as like something he created. A worse fool, you got an atheist, which is a big fool, man. The biggest fool. And then you have the idolater, which is more foolish than the person who worships fire, that worships the sun. You just, all of them are foolish because they not believing in God. But to believe that nothing created this is insanity, man. All the let's look at even the stars of heaven. You have the constellations. You think the constellations are random? How the constellations work and affect, or how the moon and all these things affect what's happening on the earth with tides. Now you think this is random? You can't see the wisdom in this? Hey, this is Wisdom of Solomon, Salak, if I'm ranting, bro. It's just like, it's insanity. So Rock 42:21. He have garnished the excellent works of his wisdom. He is from everlasting to everlasting. Unto him may nothing be added, neither can he be diminished, and he have no need of any counselor. Oh, how desirable all his works, and that a man may see even to a spark. All these things live and remain forever for all uses, and they're all obedient. All things are double one against another. He have made nothing imperfect. One thing established the good or another. And who shall be filled with beholding his glory? So you can see on earth, like the plain examples, good versus evil, wet versus dry, cold versus hot. These things show randomness couldn't bring forth this perfection, couldn't bring forth this balance. Okay? Randomness couldn't bring forth this balance. That's insanity. Just fucking look at the earth, man. Stop being a dickhead. Evolution. The science, oh well, we can't see this. You can't see the wind. And you can't you can't see a lot of shit, man. That's insane. You believe it though. Wisdom of Solomon 9:1. Of the most high, of the power of my fathers and Lord of mercy, who has made all things with thy word, and ordained man through thy wisdom, that he should have dominion over the creatures which thou hast made, and order the world according to equity and righteousness, and execute judgment with an upright heart. Give me wisdom that sitteth by thy throne, and reject me not from among thy children. Verse 9, and wisdom was with thee, which knoweth thy works, and was present when thou madest the world, and knew what was acceptable in thy sight, and right in thy commandments. All right, so the Lord made this place through wisdom. That's where the point at. All right, let's get this Romans 1. This is why all you niggas are gay out here. And this is something new too. Lately, I seen a lot more Jake being so-called atheists, man. Insanity. Romans 1. That's how you know this is the little horn. Romans 1 verse 20. Uh, 17. For therein is the righteousness of the Most High revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith, for which is the evidence of things not seen. For the wrath of the Most High is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of the Most High is manifest in them, for the Most High hath showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. All right? So it's clearly evident when you really just look at, if you just look at nature, at life, all right? Whatever, anything that you can see and really reason, you can tell that there had to be a creator. Rain comes from heaven. The crops need water to grow. So the earth is made and set up through wisdom from the Most High, Yahweh, through Son Yahweh Shai. Okay, so we have caused the water to come down. There's water. You don't have to go to live by a river or transport the water from a river all the way over to here. No, it just comes from the heavens. So wherever you are, you too can eat and have life. Who teaches the animals the migration patterns to find the water sources as they change throughout the seasons? Like, come on. This shit is simple. This shit is simple. You just wicked, man. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as the Most High, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imagination, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. And you think you're smart, you the dumbest niggas, man. Man, look, you can look and tell somebody made this, man. And here we have the scriptures that proves it. All right? Starting with Genesis, the first chapter, starting with let there be light. Which that ain't the sun and the moon right there. That's the elements been activated. That's your E equals MC squared right there. Right there. Plain science in the scriptures. This script, the Bible is where true wisdom is at, man. Is it Psalms 104? Yeah, man, look. Man, this is a hard section. Psalm 104:1. Bless Yahweh, O my soul, O Yahweh, my power. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who covers thyself with light as with garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain. And Esau's science finally caught up to this, which is already understood, that outer space is always growing, expanding, that is being expanded, stretched out. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariots, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. So the Lord has vehicles, and that's the so-called UFOs, man. Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flame and fire. Which lets you know that the spirit is fire. When a person dies, that's why their body goes cold. Come on, man. Who laid the foundation of the earth, that it should not be removed forever. Thou covers it with the deep as with the garment. The waters stood above the mountains. At thy rebuke they fled. At the voice of thy thunder they hasted away. In every society, for the most part, every society, every civilization has a flood story. Proving the scriptures right, because Noah and his 3 sons had children. So of course they passed the flood story down. Their children passed it down. Their children passed it down till it got all switched up and changed on different levels, but the principle remained the same. There was a flood. Okay? They go up by the mountains, they go down by the valleys unto the place which thou hast founded for them. When it rains, thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over, they turn out again to cover the earth. He sent it this. So yeah, that's another thing. The water stay where they at. The ocean don't change up. The lake don't change up. Even if a hurricane come, it'll come and then the water go right back, man. This is the boundaries the Lord has set. He sent the springs to the valleys which run among the hills. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild asses quench their thirst. By them shall the fowls of heaven have their habitation, which sing among the branches. He watereth the hills from his chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruits of thy works. He caused the grass to grow for the cattle, and earth for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth. Everything we see on this earth is for life. All right, you have goats. The people are starting to say they're not goats, but we're going to call them goats still. That's they've been called for the longest. That climb mountains with no hands. And there's waters and streams on these mountains. You have monkeys that enjoy the hot springs in these cold ass climates, man. Everything on this earth promotes life. Now there's a balance because life exists, death must exist. So you have hunting and all this other stuff. But everything that in itself promotes life. Everything the Lord has made is life right here, man. Of course, with the balance we just mentioned. And wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face to shine, and bread which strengtheneth man's hearts. What part of evolution is that? What would be the need in evolution for wine? The Lord made this place and he called it what? Eden, paradise. So wine was given to us so we can be happy. The trees of the Lord are full of sap, the cedars of Lebanon which he hath planted. Where the birds make their nests, as for the stork, the fir trees are her house. The high hills are a refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the conies. He appointed the moon for seasons. And that's how you know the times we're in. All right, you got the moon that goes through a month cycle. You telling me that's random? The moon going from no moon in the beginning of the month to half in 7 days to full after the other 7 days, down to half for another 7 days, back to new to complete the whole month cycle. That's random? Fucking crazy. The sun knoweth his going down. Thou makest darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. The young lions roar after their prey and seek their meat from the Most High. The sun arises, they gather themselves together and lay them down in their dens. Man goeth forth unto his work and to his labor until the evening. O Lord, how manifold are thy works! In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches. So if you just look in the earth, you can see the richness of wisdom and how everything works together. Let me just finish this out, really. Let me just finish this out. So is this great and wide sea wherein are things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein. And Esau now they ain't touched the bottom of the ocean, but you have different levels. All right, so say you go 100, you go 3 miles out into the ocean from shore. It's like a slope. The ground is a slope, so you can touch some of that ground. So they deep dived into some shit where it's just darkness. And you see these different fish creatures that illuminates because there's no light down there. You don't evolve to that, man. That's made. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist. It wouldn't have survived. Or why wouldn't it change so it could come up higher? Come on. Or why would something evolve to be able to just be in the dark? That'd be de-evolution. You got other fish evolving to become these great fish that can fly out the water, can do all this other shit, but these are evolving to just being in darkness at the bottom. Come on, man. This is wisdom of the Lord. These wait all, verse 27, these wait all upon thee, that thou mayest give them their meat in due season. That thou givest them, they gather. Thou openest thine hand, they are filled with good. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die and return to their dust. Even the synergy in that, it returns back to the earth. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth. The glory of Yahweh shall endure forever. Yahweh shall rejoice in his works. He looketh on the earth, and it trembleth. He touched the hills, and they smoke. I will sing unto Yahweh as long as I live. I will sing praise to my power while I have my being. Call all me how Bashem Yahweh Shai. My meditation of him shall be sweet. I will be glad in Yahweh. Let the sinners be consumed out of the earth, and let the wicked be no more. Bless thou Yahweh, O my soul. Praise ye Yahweh. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Fuck Esau. Fuck evolution. The evidence is plain. Yahweh reigns, and he has set up his son Yahweh Shai to have the dominion. Shalom.